Welcome back, guys. In the previous lesson, we were able to install NGINX, run our NGINX, do some basic configuration, and we could test and assert that our NGINX is running fine. So in this lesson, we will be configuring our server block. We'll talk about server block, the purpose of the server block, and why you need a server block. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to comfortably configure your own server block to virtually host and direct every request that is coming to your NGINX server. Part of the lesson, we will be creating a server block to serve our front-end application. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and log into our EC2 instance. This should be the login to my EC2 instance. Okay, so I'll clear my screen so you can see what I'm typing. We are in the instance right now. So the first thing, we need to delete the default configuration block, the default server block that was created when we installed NGINX. So I'll go to cd/. Alright, so let me list what we have there. We have HTML, so this is the one we are deleting. So remove -r -of HTML. This should remove first recursive remove HTML. Oh, sudo recursive.f HTML. Alright, so it should be gone now. That is removed. Let me clear my screen again. So now we need to create our own directory. So we call it oslearning.us. Alright. Sudo make directory oslearning.us. Alright, so we have created our directory. Do list to be sure it's created. Alright, we have oslearning.us. We need to change ownership of oslearning.us to our current user. So I'll do change ownership recursively and specify the username. Our username is Ubuntu. In case you don't know your username, just type whoami, use the whoami command to find your username. And we are doing this on oslearning.us. Alright, so we have ownership on the folder now. So let's change directory into our oslearning that we just created. Now we need to make another directory called HTML. We are going to be putting our files inside the HTML. Let's confirm it's there, it's created. So we have that created for us. So the next step, we are going to be creating our server block. So let's go ahead and create the server block. The server block that's going to handle, that will serve as a virtual host for our request. So let me clear my screen, and then we'll be creating this in, let's go to /etc. Let's go to the NGINX folder itself. NGINX /sites available. So we are deleting this default, and then we'll create sudo. So we have that now. So we need to create a file and call it oslearning.us. This is a configuration file. We need to edit our file to turn it into a server block. Sudo nano oslearning.us. So we put our server. Let's write the command for our server block. This server is gonna listen on port 80 Okay, so let's put a wildcard. So we need to tell the virtual host where to find our file, the file to load. So it's gonna be in www.oreslearning.us/html. That's the file we created in the previous lesson, and our default page will be index.html. So let's specify our server name. That's oreslearning.us, and then we want to map the wildcard subdomain to for oreslearning.us. So that will undo our server name. So we need to create access log. oreslearning.us access.log. Then we do the same thing for error log. Okay, so now the last command specifies the location. This is saying that every request from the root domain should be forwarded to our server. So let's try _files. So if the file is not found, or we can't serve the file, show a 404 page. So we've come to the end of our server block configuration. Let's close our server block. Okay, so indentation is not perfect, but we have a working server block. We can save this. Ctrl X to save. Yes. And then enter. Alright, so we have our server block created now. So the next step is to link the server block. Sorry, we need to validate our inputs that they are correct. So we do sudo NGINX-T. We need to link that first. So we do sudo link-s/etc/nginx/sites available on oreslearning.us. So we are linking it to sites enabled. So this should create a symlink for our sites available to the sites enabled. Alright. So now let's try the validation again. Sudo nginx-t. Okay, so let's go to site enabled and remove defaults. So we need to remove this default. Alright, now let's try our validation again. The configuration is fine. Validation is successful. So our server block is up now, and it should be serving our content. Every content that we put in the directory we created for our new project should be served from this site. So in the next lesson, we will upload the content of a static React application into this directory that we created to host our application, and then we will test this on the browser to confirm our server block was created successfully and it's serving content for our front end. See you in the next lesson.